Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Number 3 of 3. By that I mean we're doing a little bit of Magnify Brewing. It's their Born Day. This is their PB&J version. This is a peanut butter and jelly and marshmallow. Okay, so it's a fluffernutter jelly thing, bobber. What do they have here? It is an 8th anniversary birthday cake Imperial Stout brewed with cake batter, aged in 12-year Elijah Craig barrels, 7-year W.L. Weller bourbon barrels for 12 to 18 months in condition on Reese's peanut butter cups, strawberry, blueberry, cherry, and marshmallow. And it also contains lactose. Coming at 13.5%. This is what we call pastry stout. I was given this and this 7th anniversary Born Days 8th. Yeah, my buddy Mikey finally met up after conversing for quite some time on the old socials, and he met up and he dropped these bangers on me. Now I reviewed these two already. We're going to dive into this one, and then I have these sitting aside to do a little side-by-side cuvee kind of thing towards the end. So, what else do we have on here? This is their 8th Born Day. I don't know if there's a date on here. It's got to be at least a couple years old. Do that. Do that. Here we go. I could see, I don't know if you're probably not going to be able to see it. There's like sediment. I could see like funky cake batter remnants. Got a big hiss on that sucker. Little rusty cap action going on there. So let's pour this out. See it tumble. I doubt it's going to have much of carbonation because of that hiss and the particulate in the beer. Give it a hefty pour. Let's get a cap on the sucker. And then there, here's a napkin. Clean it off slightly. Oh, that one went way too easy. Label-wise, it's what they do pretty much on all the Born Days. So, not going to say I love it, hate it, whatever. But as far as beer goes, I mean, that looks the part of pastry stout for a couple different ways. Thick as thick can be. You can see the blue blocker kind of legs on that sucker, and not much of a carbonation there. There is carbonation there, but not much. Dark as dark could be. It actually has a tinge of like purplishness to it, so I assume that's a bunch of the adjuncts floating around that sucker. Maybe the jelly. So yeah, give it a whirl. It's good nose. I'm not gonna lie to you. That smells freaking amazing because you're getting 3 distinct things here. You're getting the beer, a nice, what I assume is a boisterous Russian Imperial Stout base, something that has a nice roasted toastiness to hold up to all this sweetness. You're getting spirits. You're getting that bourbon coming through. Quite nice. Not just the bourbon, but the barrel itself. And the big predominant thing that's coming through from the adjunct side of the thing is a jamminess. It has this nice, rich jammy, kind of like an almost combination between a grape and a raspberry jam. You know, that kind of vibe to it. It smells really, really, really good. Honestly, not as pastry as I thought it would be with the amount of ingredients thrown at the sucker. You can tell there's something going on here. That lactose at play, that jamminess. Man, the beer and the barrel and the spirit are really holding up well on this, at least aromatically. So that smells, I'll say it, better than I thought it would. You know, a several-year-old multi-layered adjunct beer. It might be a little bit herky-jerky, but man, aromatically, we are off to a very good start. So I'm just going to dive into this sucker. Cheers all. That's delicious. Man, it's a pastry stout. It absolutely is. 100%. Nobody's going to be fooled by that. Man, that is very, very tasty. Yeah. I mean, everything's still there. In the taste, you actually get a lot more of those adjuncts in there. You get that touch of peanut butter in there. You get that chocolate in there from that milk chocolate from the Reese's cup. You get that lactose, probably a little bit elevated than I thought it would be based off of nose, but again, not ultra heavy-handed. There's that jamminess in there, but it's tempered a little bit by those other sweet flavors. And on either side of that, spirit's definitely there. Barrel a little bit lost on the taste, but then the beer is still there. You get that nice, roasty, toasty kind of Imperial Stout kind of base. Yeah, preconceived notions, we try to shove those off to the side whenever we do beer reviews. But when you read We'll read it again. Cake Imperial Stout with cake batter, 2 bourbon barrels, Reese's Cups, strawberry, blueberry, cherry, marshmallow, and lactose. You expect it to be a little bit too sweet, a little too pastry. And while this isn't, again, going to be confused with something that isn't a pastry stout, it's really well balanced. And it's held up well. Like I said, it's 8th anniversary. I want to say this is like 3 or 4 years old. Yeah, I like that a lot. I actually do. Man, that's really good. Thank you very much, Mike, for sending this off to me, or handing it off to me. Better way to put it. And honestly, we're going to do this side by side with the other ones. They're a couple days old, sitting in cork bottles, so hopefully they still have a little bit of carb to them. But man, I think this might be my favorite of all 3. Yeah. I don't know what I have to say. Let's just dive into this little side by side now. So let's shove this sucker off over here. We'll take our, we have 2 Star Wars glasses, and not just Star Wars glasses, but, what's that first one I reviewed? Hazelnut Banana. I forget what's the first one. It's Gold Label. What's this one again? Coconut. Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's get the sucker out and see where they land. But, I picked the, Star Wars glasses because I wanted small glasses, and I also wanted, stuff from the Empire, because pastry stouts are evil, so it kind of makes sense. So give this sucker a aggressive pour. Put that sucker off to the side. Give this sucker an aggressive pour. Throw that off to the side. There we go. So as far as the beers go, this one looks a lot hazier. I think actually that might be a little bit of the beer being oxidized, rather than how the beer actually looks. As far as, I should actually leave these up here when I got them off here. Probably mixing them up now. You play the shell game that I'm not playing. But yeah, I mean, they look relatively the same. This one looks more oxidized. This one looks less. That's, I assume, maybe then this is the one I originally opened. Next day was this one, and a couple days later was that one. So look-wise, we're not really here for the looks. Again, on this one, spirit, jamminess. On this one, that's definitely oxidized. That's definitely oxidized. Yeah. This had to be the first one that I opened. I think that's the almond one. That's definitely the banana one. So we'll flip the script on those. And we're going to base this off of memory. We'll post all these reviews on the same day. Like I said, I want to do this side by side just to see how it landed. We're still going to do a cuvée for the fun factor. But I think I really went... I forget which one. Honestly, this one has to be my favorite. It has to be. I think between the other two, there was one I distinctly liked better, but I forget which one it was. I think it might be the almond one. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, that was a poopy experiment. So, I was going to come off cooler than that. So, let's do a little super cuvée. Just for the science. Even though these are... They taste well. They just lack the aromatics and the punch they had originally for them to kind of stand up over that time. So I just wanted to see what they all taste like together, because who doesn't want to mix a bunch of cake and pastry together? Yeah. That's better by itself. So there you go. Bad experiment. Let's just do this. Talk about this beer, because I think this is the winner. Born Day. Peanut butter and jelly and marshmallow. Man, if you have this in the cellar, I implore you to open this, because beers like this typically don't last long, and I can't see it taste drinking much better than it is now. So if you have any of these in your cellar, I implore you to open them, especially if there's some of the older ones, 7th, 8th anniversary. But this one more specifically is drinking quite fantastically. So let's talk about this beer in general by itself. Is it one of the better pastry stouts I've had as of late? Yes. Mount Rushmore Stout is probably worthy. I don't drink a bunch of pastry stouts, so it kind of defaults to yes. in the grand scheme of things, we open up that calendar and say over the past several years, this is one of the better ones, probably on the outside looking in, but very tasty stuff, and I'm glad I got to try it. Thank you very much, Mikey. Value and availability on these, I have no idea. People are going to have to chime in what they paid for these when they originally came out. Obviously, they're anniversary beers, so they're probably not available anymore unless you randomly, stumble across some where the brewery opens up their cellar and leave you with, if you like what we like these, if you like pastry stout. This one more specifically, I think is one of the more well-balanced pastry stouts. Once you consider all the stuff that they have in it that's been thrown at it, yeah, good stuff. Thanks again, Mike. So there you go, reviewing the books. Hopefully you enjoyed. Down there, if you want to talk about it, Massive Beers, if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Beer Massive, podcasting stuff, and Born Days, man, have you had them? Magnify, have you been to the brewery? Have had all their beers, any of their beers? You want to have a discussion? Let's talk about it down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying barrel-aged pastry right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers, y'all.